And I've been commuting for about 5 or 6 years. And I got started when I've been a bike rider all my life. I've been riding, what we used to call when I was younger 10 speeds or English racers since I was very young. And I've ridden around the country on my bike, but I've never really had a good bike. And about 6 or 7 years ago, I finally bought a pretty decent road bike and was just blown away at what a wonderful experience it was, and started deciding that I'd like to try to ride to work on that. And at the time, I'll tell you, I didn't see too many people 6 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. I didn't see too many people riding their bikes to work. That has certainly changed. But I started doing it mainly just because I wanted to, but also because at that time, gas was really starting to shoot up. It was really starting to explode. So it had something to do with wanting to, there were 3 reasons for my wanting to do it. I wanted to save some gas money. It was for physical conditioning, and it was also for the environment. There's no doubt that was a reason. And all of those are great reasons, and they're great benefits. But I got to tell you, as someone who's been doing this now for over 5 years, the #1 main reason that I commute is because it's so darn much fun. It's just fun. It's addictive. When I started commuting at work, I was the only person who commuted. There's now about 4 or 5 people who commute. And whenever they come up and ask me questions about it, I always tell them, I say, I want to warn you. I go, this is addictive. So you're going to get up in the morning and you're going to look at the forecast and go, they're talking about rain, and you're going to ride anyway. But it's a really good addiction. There are a lot worse things you can be addicted to than this. Some of the challenges I faced when I first started were some of the common things. One was trying to find the route, and I really had to experiment for quite a few months. Some of the routes I started with, they were not good. They were just not good, and some of them, there were even routes that were recommended on some of the guides online and in brochures and that type of thing, and they just weren't very good. But I quickly found what is an absolutely beautiful route. A large portion of it that takes me right through Forest Park here. I go through Midtown, and it's just a wonderful route. I've never had any serious issues with motorists. I guess the #1 question I always get from people is, do you ride on the street? Of course I ride on the street. You can't ride on the sidewalk. And that really scares people who don't ride. I haven't had any serious issues. The only problems I've ever had with motorists is out in West County on a weekend ride. The people here in the city are fine. The other big problem is, what are you going to do about clothes and cleaning up and stuff? I can't give much advice on that. I'm very fortunate. We have lockers at work, and I have access to a shower. So for me, it's an ideal situation. But another thing I often say to people is, when I tell them I've been riding for 5 or 6 years, I tell them I wish I would have started 20 years ago. It's just a great way to get to work.